Check. Already. Yeah. I want the money back. Hey, roll it up. He want it back. She want it back. Yeah. Go get the bag. Go get the bag. Go get the bag.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Parsonage. This is your girl, Jasmine Knowles, and today we will be talking about our top 5 historically Black college and university bands. I want you to know that this is a show that is going to be about everything Black culture, Black life. It's going to be about politics, fashion, everything and anything that can get your mind racing, okay? We're also going to be having 2 special guests with us. We're going to have Mr. Beckford, who is the University Band Director at Florida Memorial University, and we're also going to have Dr. Shelby Chipman, who is the University Band Director at Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. And that's going to be a little later on. But right now, what we're going to do is we're going to get into our first topic for our first segment. So, LaJoyce, I'm going to start with you tonight.
Yes, how are you?
What are your top 5 HBCU bands?
Okay, I wrote down my notes, okay? So I'm going to be reading from my list here. Don't look at my list.
Uh-oh.
Okay, here we go.
I'm remaining silent.
Very good. Number 5. We're going to start number, correct?
Yes. That's
number
perfect.
5. Alabama State University. Their band.
Okay.
Because my husband attended that university, and while he was there, I had the chance to see them up live in person, and they were phenomenal. If I had followed you to Alabama State, I would have been one of them honeybees. Those girls kill it every single time. I would have liked to for the honeybees. Yeah, all right, that's number 5. Okay, number 4. We're gonna go to the Mecca, the Ivy League of historically Black colleges and universities.
Okay.
Howard University in our nation's capital. Right there in our nation's capital. This is the Howard University Showtime Band. Okay, that's number 4. Okay. Number 3. Okay. I know y'all may think that this list is only about marching bands, but marching bands ain't all there is. You got marching bands, you got string quartets, and then you also have the world-renowned Howard Gospel Choir Band, circa 2007, 2011. Hold on now.
What?
Hold on.
This is not about.
Hold on now. You didn't say marching bands.
HBCU marching bands.
No. Jasmine.
This is about marching bands. This is not about bands or gospel bands or folk bands. This is about HBCU marching bands.
No.
We're going to have 2 guest marching band directors.
That's fine.
Okay, all right,
That's fine. And I can't wait to
fine.
see it.
This is how we start our first episode.
Yes.
The question says top 5 HBCU marching bands of all time.
Hold on, Jazz.
That's what the question says.
Yes.
You need an intervention. Okay. When you opened up so beautifully, might I add, thank you. When you opened up this episode, this segment,
yes,
you said historically Black college and university bands.
Well, who would put the band of a gospel choir? Who would come up with that? Who would come up?
Anyway,
Answer the question, Jasmine. Answer the question. Are we talking marching bands here?
Oh, I was so close. Well, I did say HBCU. I said HBCU bands. I did say that. I will say I did say that. I did say that.
The queen speak. Okay. Number 2.
Gospel choir band. Okay.
John, that band killed.
Continue.
Have you looked at YouTube?
Continue.
Woo.
Continue.
Hater. Number 2, the FAMU Marching 100.
Okay.
Without a doubt, the most phenomenal HBCU, the most phenomenal marching band everywhere. For real, for real. Okay, I mean that. I didn't attend FAMU. This ain't, I'm not, biased or anything. It's something about knees up in the air. They in perfect formation.
Yes.
Everybody's just playing, just so effortlessly. It's soul on display. You mad?
I'm just waiting for you to finish your list because I'm just dumbfounded. Dumbfounded. The buffoonery that is coming out of your mouth right now is just sickening. But just go.
You need to watch your mouth, Pastor.
Continue.
Anyway.
Continue, please.
And number one. In 2018, the nation.
If this is Beyonce related, I'm gonna be so upset.
The nation.
If this is Beyonce related, I'm gonna be so upset. I know she's gonna find a way. She's gonna find a way to tie Beyonce into this somehow. Go ahead. I'm gonna shut up.
In the year 2018.
In the year King Isaiah died, I saw the Lord. That's the word. Go ahead.
In the year 2018, our world saw on display quite possibly the greatest display of historically Black college university just
it's coming.
Blendification.
It's coming. I know it's coming. It's coming.
You had musicians, you had dancers from, and might I say, the best musicians and dancers from bands, historically Black college and university bands across the United States of America. On one stage, one stage with the incomparable Beyonce Giselle.
I knew it.
It was on Coachella's stage.
Yes, it was.
The first time having a headliner that looked like me.
Why do I set myself up for these things? Why do I set myself up for these things? Is it my turn now? Is it my turn? We had to sit through that. Can I go now? Can I go now? I know you don't. Oh, God.
Students from Howard.
Oh, that's why.
Students from Norfolk.
No wonder you can stick to the top. Can I go now? Can I please go now? Can I go now?
Yes.
Can I go now? Can I go now? Can I please go now? I sat through that. I tried my best. I was quiet. Can I go now? Can I please go now?
Yes, John. You have the floor.
I'm going now. Thank you. I'm going to go now. And not only am I going to go, but I'm going to stick to the topic. And I want you all to know, all of you all who are watching this broadcast, to know that every band that I've listed on my list, every band that I placed on my list, is better than all of that she just named. We're going to hear a couple of the bands. So leave me be. I'm all right. I am all right. I'm just upset because you came and completely destroyed what the show was supposed to be about. But it's okay. I'm going to start with the honorable mention. We're supposed to start with 5 bands, but I'm starting with my top 5 HBCU bands with the honorable mention. Since you I'm going to add another amendment to the rules. I'm starting with an honorable mention.
Need to relax.
Shout out to the Sonic Boom of the South, the Jackson State University Marching Band. I went to Alabama State University. I was at many of the SWAC games, and the Sonic Boom of the South, Jackson State University, they have one of the purest sounds that you will ever hear, but they weren't able to make my top 5, but I want to start at my top 5. Here we go. I'm going just like the lady to my left with my school, Alabama State University. Good. And she actually, I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her, Jasmine. I'm proud of her. Let me give me speech. I'm proud of her because she did her homework. She did her homework. That the Honeybees are nationally acclaimed group, and they are legit the best part of the band. But I want to give a shout out, longevity, Alabama State has been a model of consistency under the leadership of Dr. Oliver. They are a great band, one of the best bands in the SWAT. Gotta give love to the Alabama State University Mighty Marching Hornets. Number 4 on my list, I am going to go with the Human Jukebox. Let me tell you something. After Thanksgiving, the weekend after Thanksgiving, there was nothing like sitting in front of the TV and watching the game against Southern and Grambling State, the Bayou Classic on NBC. That halftime show, the very first time I remember hearing a marching band on TV was the Southern Marching Band. And there is nothing like the Bayou Classic experience. Can I get through this in peace? There's nothing like the HBCU experience. So let me tell you something. The Bayou Classic is a place you need to go. The Grambling State, much love to y'all, but I got to give love to the Human Jukebox. Southern University at number 4. Number 3, gotta give major love to this university, this band, this institution as a whole, because without this institution, I can honestly say I would not be here today. Shout out to the Mighty Marching Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman University. I'm talking about a standard of excellence that has been going on there for well over 30 or 40 years when it comes down to their sound and their band. I mean, every year at the Florida Classic, that's another classic you need to make it to if you've never been. One of the biggest games in the world. I'm talking the atmosphere is like a big family reunion in Orlando every year. So, but got to give major props to the Mighty Marching Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman University at number 3. At number 2, I have the Aristocrats of Bands. That means they the bougie band on this list.
Okay.
The Aristocrat of Bands, Tennessee State University. Listen, one of the purest sound. That's your problem. Do some real homework. If you had the HGC band on there and the Coachella, whatever, just stay over there, all right? The Aristocrats of Band. They are holistic in sound, from percussion to saxophone to trumpet. I'm talking about they are really the standard when it comes down to the pure sound of marching bands, and that has extended over a long period of time. But my number 1 band is the number 1 band. It is the biggest band. It is the nationally acclaimed, the Michael Jordan to the LeBron Jameses of marching bands. It is the number 1 FAMU Marching 100. There is no band. The Gap Band, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I don't care what you say. I'm talking about you talking about you. No. You talking what has the Howard Gospel Choir Band march?
We marched from DC
to Georgetown. Makes no difference to me.
Denmark.
Listen,
we went all the way overseas.
Y'all flew.
We marched to the airport.
Anyways, the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University Marching 100 marching band is the greatest marching band ever assembled, going all the way back to its infancy up into the current leadership that is under the Dr. Shelby Chipman, who's going to be our guest later today. This band has been on national TV, has marched in numerous parades, has been featured multiple times in Super Bowl. Prince, they backed up Beyonce. Come on, you talking about Beyonce? Listen, they put on a show. They put on a show with Prince at the Super Bowl. You don't get any bigger than that. So that's my list. That's what I'm talking about. That is the top 5 greatest HBCU marching bands of all time. In my opinion, that I've actually had an opportunity to witness live and in color.
Awesome.
The HBC, the Howard Gospel Choir, the Howard and culture.
Keep on saying it, baby.
I know Beyonce was coming.
I knew
it. Beyonce.
I ain't sorry.
Stay with us. We're going to have a brief commercial and then we'll be right back.
Go get the bag. You chasing all of these. I want a bag. You can have all of these. To give me the bag.
Coming up next week on the Parsonage, from Coming to America to Queen and Slim, from Good Times to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, John and LaJoyce give us their top 5 black sitcoms and movies. Make sure you have your own list ready in the comments. We'll see you then.
Hey, Dr. Chipman, we want to welcome you to the show, to the Parsonage. This is our very first episode, so we want to thank you for being with us today. So as our host was saying, our main topic of discussion, we put together a list of the top 5 HBCU bands of all time, and you being a career musician going all the way back to your days in Dade County with the Central Rockets, you are marched in the band at Northwest, and it's a doggone shame. This is my show, and I got a bull and a rattler on my first episode, but that's another conversation.
I'll just say cheap pride.
But either way, you are a legend in your own right. So we just wanted to bring you on to talk to you about the state of HBCU bands and where we are right now with this pandemic. So talk to us about how the COVID-19 has affected your ability to recruit, and how have you had to get creative during this time to stay in contact with your current and your prospective students for the upcoming school year?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you both. And when we think about what we're dealing with now, none of us would have, of course, asked for this. But, you know, we never know which way the Lord is going to move. And, you know, in my own vision, in my own sight, I think it's somewhat interesting that I think that the Lord is telling us all that in some ways, in some regards, we need to get some things together here on earth. And as we have approached our recruitment, and retention, you know, that we have here on campus, we've done several things. We've had with our new students class of 2020, we've had workshops with them to talk to them about admission standards, scholarship opportunities. We've had students to perform for them. We had our faculty members to perform for them. I've had two Zoom calls with students. The first call, we had about 110 prospective freshmen from all over the country. I think the furthest student was from Nevada, Las Vegas. There was one student from Chicago, Illinois, and another student was from Detroit, Michigan, and then several students from the South. And so, you know, those Zoom calls are keeping us in touch and in dialogue with the students to let them know the things that they should be focusing in on. First and foremost, we have mentioned to them, make sure they finish strong, because it's so easy to get distracted from what the main piece is, especially in the last 9 weeks of the semester.
Right. Over your course and your tenure there, even before you officially took the helm as director of bands, what do you see as being your major challenge, one of the major challenges you faced, and what did you do to overcome it since you've been there in Tallahassee?
Well, thanks, John. That's a great question. It say you have to be locked and loaded because you never know the day or the hour. And so that day and hour came fall 2016, where I was appointed the director. And then one of the things we know that we had to change in the FAMU band was the culture with the major storm that we had gone through with the suspension. And so we put the things in place that we needed to put in place from the university standpoint, and all the stakeholders involved, as well as the students, understanding that there would be zero tolerance for anything that would be inappropriate. And we started to have a lot of success. And to this date, we have not had any reported incidents of any type of hazing, things of that nature. And so that was the biggest hurdle that we had.
So my question is, if you were not leading and being an active role in, again, the excellence that is FAMU and its music and its marching bands, and, you know, not just creatively, you know, and through music, but also just as a leader to young students who are, you know, going through their college careers. If you weren't doing that, if you were not a part of that, what else in the world would you be doing?
I always wanted to be a principal, and this started, of course, John, you guys know my mom. She was a elementary school music teacher for 30 years in Miami-Dade Public County Schools, and I said I was going to teach about 15 years, and then I wanted to become a high school principal. For me, I love the operations of organizing things and supportive initiatives that, you know, we know that, you know, school systems need, and strong leaders. Band directors, you know, not being conceited, but band directors have historically made great administrators because they're used to dealing with multiple scenarios.
Yeah, for sure.
Multiple students, of course, that come through their doors. They organize trips. They just have a multifaceted of things that are under their care. And for me, I just always wanted to be a principal, but God had it such that my last year at Central, I was actually interviewed for the music supervisor position of Dade County Public Schools. Michael Crop was a new school opening, School of the Arts.
What you
and,
say?
and Florida A&M University Assistant Director. I interviewed for all three of those positions in May. And I tell this story, so I tell this story all the time. In May of 1998, I interviewed for all three positions, and I decided to come to Florida A&M University.
Listen, before we kick it back to Jasmine, I have a question for you because I held a trump. You know, I'm a spades player. I play spades with y'all too. So I held my trump. Listen, we have another guest who will be interviewing after you, and I didn't tell you this because my last question for you, and I just need a quick answer. Me and my brother have always had an argument about who was the greatest arranger to ever come out of FAMU. My answer has always been you, but he says that Richard Beckford is a better all-around arranger than you. Who's the better arranger between you and Beck? Beck is my next guest, so I'm gonna ask him when he comes on. When I talk to him, who's the better arranger? So I just need I need to know now. All those FAMU heads need to know. This is gonna be a hot take. Who's the better arranger, Dr. Chipman or Mr. Beckford? Give it to me.
Oh, hands down, Mr. Beckford is a better arranger. He took that gift that he had with arranging from his high school day to FAMU, at Carroll City and Blanche Ely High School, and blesses so many people. And I was computer science degree and music education, and I got out of the FAMU and went on to do other things in music education. That would be my forte. But certainly, Beckford is one of the top arrangers that we have out there on the high school and even a collegiate circuit with the new appointment that he has. So
absolutely, absolutely, Jazz.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That was a great question.
Yeah.
So while on the topic of speaking of other directors and of other HBCU bands, just a thought and a question: what other bands besides the band that you are currently over spark your attention? Would be my question.
Well, I look at a lot of bands. I look at historically Black bands. I look at PWI marching bands, and I look for those bands that are attracting the audience attention. We're always thinking at FAMU that we have to make sure we stay relevant. And those bands that stay relevant with the type of music that they perform for their audience, the pictorial formation they may put on the field, those are the bands I follow. So to answer your question, I mean, I like several of the HBCU bands in terms of their general performance. I follow a lot of them. I mean, I'm a competitor, and so I follow a lot of them. I mean, you kind of want to know what's going on in the land that we live as it relates to band. And, FAMU band, we have historically been, the premier band, and we continue to do so. But we're also mindful that, bands have gotten, better over time. Bands have gotten more size. Bands have nice uniforms, and bands are traveling more. I follow Ohio State University's band. I follow the Michigan University Marching Band. I follow the University of Southern California Marching Band. I follow the Southern University Marching Band, of course. HBCU. We follow North Carolina A&T. And those are some of the bands, just off the cuff of your question, that I do follow, and just give a listen just to see some things that are going on.
I have a question.
We don't follow them in terms of what exactly we're going to do, because we take
right.
Of course, right? Because you have your own flavor, like you said. You have the FAMU sound.
Right. There's only one. There's only one.
No one is going to do the death march. No one's going to do the rattler. No one is going to play and dance like we do. Nobody's going to electrify that audience. Nobody's going to be as relevant with the kind of playbook that we have in this.
Exactly.
My question: What do you think about the Beyonce homecoming band?
Well, you do know, for the record, that about 85% of them were from Florida A&M University.
I do know.
Wow, I did not know that.
So
let's talk about it.
Can we wrap this up, please?
I got to get enough. You know, much is given, much is expected, and so they expected a lot. They expected a lot, and they received it from a lot of our former band members, and so there it is.
Yeah, yeah. Man of God, that was my #1 pick on my list, and you all were right under. But because I just love that display of HBCU blended magic mixed with pop culture and the current guidance of R&B and soul music. Say what you will about Beyonce or whatever, but I enjoyed it for the culture. It was magic. It was fun. It was great to see that coming together. So I loved it. And I had some friends in the band too. So
yeah, it was electric. It really was. Energy, the music, the relevance. I mean, we get in our cars. I mean, we listen to classical music, we listen to religious music, but we also listen to, hip hop music. We listen to R&B, man, the old school. And so, that's what we want to make sure that we project so that we stay relevant in the eyes of the people.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much. We thank you so much, Dr. Shelby Chicken, for coming in and speaking with us. It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for the opportunity. I look forward to seeing the show this week. And I know you're going to be interviewing others. And we really want to wish you guys well in all the endeavors that you have with creating this spotlight for HBCU bands all over the country. This is amazing. This is great. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Stay safe, Dr. C.
All right. You too.
All right.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Parsonage. With us, we have Mr. Richard Beckford, who is the University Band Director at Florida Memorial University. Mr. Beckford, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing well. I'm blessed. I'm happy to be here.
Perfect. So tonight, for our first segment, we've been talking about our top 5 HBCU bands, and we are so glad to have you here because you are the University Band Director for FMU. So we have a couple questions for you tonight, and I'm going to go ahead and start with mine. My question is, how does it feel to be able to give back knowledge that was instilled in you to your community?
It's a big blessing. When you come from a place and you realize that place and the interactions and the experiences you had at that place was instrumental in developing you as a person, the opportunity to share that back with the next generation is a blessing. So I'm very, very grateful, and I look forward to every opportunity to share as much as I can with the students, just to inspire them the way I was inspired.
Awesome. That's what it's about. Being inspired and inspiring whoever else you can along the journey.
Yes, absolutely.
For sure. I have a question, Mr. Beckford. If you were not in all of your excellence and skill and knowledge, if you were not of course.
She knows. She's heard the story. She knows.
Yes. I don't know if you remember, but I was at Carroll City with it was like a report card review day for some of the students there, and I was representing an organization called Guitars Over Guns, a mentoring organization.
Yes.
And I came in and I met you and I met your wife, and I told you that Sonia Ingraham was my mother-in-law and all that.
Yes.
But I was so nervous because it's like I'm standing here with a legend, and I'm a singer and musician also. So such an honor to have learned about your career and to have met you and to continue to hear about the greatness of who you are and so many of your colleagues too. Like birds of a feather flock together. So it's no mistake that some of the people that we know that you grew up with are excellent and are doing awesome things, in their career. So my question is, if you were not doing all of that, if you were not involved in music, if you were not a musician, if you were not a director, arranger, composer, all of that, what else would you be doing?
When I was a little kid, I wanted to be an architect.
Ooh,
in fact, when I first went to, I was just really involved and really intrigued by architecture, the style, the different periods. The Greek, the medieval times. I was really intrigued with how those structures were built, the pyramids, what were the structures, what was the building blocks, and what was the design and arithmetic that went into making them strong and all that kind of stuff. So I was a geek in that area, and I was always intrigued in that. And even as I developed music, I kind of applied those same thinkings, same thought processes in the music. When I learned how to write music in high school, it was kind of like the same way. It all had to make sense to me. And so as I developed those skills, I still had that architectural background as my base. When I went to FAMU, I actually was an architect major for the first semester. And then I ran into Dr. Foster, and he happened to pull me to the side. I didn't even know he knew my name. And he literally said, there's something about me that reminded him of himself as a kid. He caught me playing around. I was actually goofing off. But he said something to me. He said, I feel like you have the talents and the gifts that's going to inspire another generation. And he said that to me my freshman year in college, with my roommate standing right next to me. And that changed the direction. I just started really reevaluating some things. And the next semester, I was a fully engaged music major. So that changed my life. But prior to that, I believe if I wasn't doing music, now that I look back with a little more wisdom and insight, I think I would have been a family practitioner. I think I would have been a doctor.
Wow.
And slash pastor, only because I feel like I would have gained the insight that I needed to help kids and families be more healthy, more health conscious, not just physically but spiritually, and give them the hope that they have control over. You know, that hope that I can act on, that acting hope. Giving them tangible evidence of how things work. I think that's what I would have ended up becoming. Now that I look back, if I had it all over to do again, I probably would have still been a musician, but I'm so intrigued with doctors like Dr. Gupta, which happens to be my family practitioner's name, but watching him on TV and watching how he shares his information in a practical way that allows people to really consider the actual things they're doing, and it gives them hope at the same time. It's almost pastorally. It's almost like, you know, it's almost like giving people the fruit that they need to be able to eat and to sustain. So I think I would have been, I think the parallel between me being a band director, being a doctor would have been the pastoral type of heart where you're trying to mentor some people. You're trying to give them guidance because you have a sincere concern for their long-being and them finding their purpose in life. I think I would have been still the same way I am now, because that's what really drives me. Music is the vehicle. If I had to do it over and I wasn't a musician, I think medicine and that knowledge base would have been the vehicle.
Wow. Wow, man. I first of all, before I get into my question, I want to congratulate you, man. You know, I've known you literally all my life. Mr. Beckford started off as my mom's intern when he was at LC working with Mr. Frank Neal and the band director, the music department there at Carroll City back in the early 90s. So we go way back, man. But you marched in the 100. The work you've done at Carroll City is known throughout the land, even on the administrative side. A lot of people don't know you are an administrator. The work you did at Norland Middle with the magnet program, man, and then going over to Broward and ended up coming back to Carroll City, man. So your career has literally come full circle in the public school system. But with this new venture, a baby, you have a newborn baby with this band program at Florida Memorial. What kind of program can we look to see with your experience from FAMU to the programs you've had your hands on in Dade and Broward? What can we look forward to seeing? What kind of product on the field are we going to get with the Marching Lions at Florida Memorial coming up? What can we look forward to?
The kind of program that you're going to see at Florida Memorial is one that takes students who are interested in just developing themselves, who have a love for music, and one that's going to take a bunch of kids that's inspired to just want to be better. And we're going to take that inspiration and we're going to turn it to a high-level performing machine where you're going to see, performance on a level that, that's not normal, because we still want to always, in everything we do, pursue perfection and excellence. So we're going to definitely pursue excellence in musicianship, excellence in marching and maneuvering and all the different concepts in band. But ultimately, you're going to see a program at Florida Memorial that's going to flourish through students' inspiration to want to be the best that they can be. And after that, everything is going to be academic. Everything is going to take place, because when you have inspired people, you create amazing things, and not just for yourself, but for the people who watch you, for the people that listen to you. I think people are going to be touched by the things that they see and they hear when you have this group of inspired people that are doing things from a almost spiritual perspective. Because when you tap into what your gifts are, you really tap into the spirit realm, because it's a whole nother realm, and you touch people in a way that you don't even see. You end up sounding differently. I mean, I know this sounds crazy, but literally the angels involve themselves in your activity to the point where it it makes you more aware of your performance so that you're more in tune with
Right.
the accuracy and the precision of what you're doing. So, you know, that might be a little out of the realm of what
You're
most
That's
right
all
on
right.
it. You're right on it. You're right on it, man. No, you're absolutely,
but that's
man.
exactly
And
the
so,
direction. Yeah, that's the direction I'm flowing in. That's the name of your program was Big Faith, was it?
Crazy Faith.
Crazy Faith, and it's going to take crazy faith to do this at Florida Memorial. It's really never been done. I have no doubt that it's going to happen. Things are not even in place the way they should be yet, but I see things lining up the way they should be. I think we're going to shock a lot of people, and we're going to put some people on notice. I think we're going to create something that's
I'm looking forward
I
to
can't
it,
wait
man.
to get home.
Listen, you have no idea, because that program at Florida Memorial, not just the football team, but even going back years, we always had a debate if Florida Memorial were to have a football coach or a band program, who would those people be? Who would be the coach and who would be the? So now it's actually happening. And to know the person who's going to actually be responsible for building that legacy, it's a blessing. It's an honor.
We are praying for you.
We are, man.
Yes.
We are.
Really appreciate that.
But before I let you go, I have one more question, because I got a little bit of a surprise for you. So we've already had an interview today from another band director, and I didn't tell you who it was because I didn't want you to come in here thinking about it. So I've already interviewed Dr. Shelby Chipman from FAMU, your good buddy and friend.
Yes,
so here's
go
my
way
question.
back.
I need you to help me settle the argument, because my brother has always said that you were the better pure arranger to come out of FAMU between Dr. Chipman and yourself. My brother says you are the better arranger. Dr. Chipman said that you are the better arranger. I picked Chip. So I want you to go ahead and tell us, from your perspective, from the man himself, are you a better arranger than Dr. Shelby Chipman? Give it to me.
Man. Dr. Shelby Chipman is an amazing person. No one outworks, nobody is more passionate about band than Dr. Chipman. It's his life, and I'm so happy to see him, excel to where he is right now and the things that he's doing. And I pray for him regularly because it's challenging, I'm sure. With all the things that he's encountering, I'm just happy that he's still able to persevere through those challenges and still be successful. To answer your question, I am definitely the better arranger.
All right.
I like it. All right.
But no one can question Dr. Chipman's knowledge base and his skill sets, his ability to get the band to do the things that's in his heart. And he's always going to be someone that motivates and inspires me as a person. And I wish him well in everything that he does. And I'm sure he wishes me well as well.
Absolutely. He did. He absolutely did. He did. Thank you, man.
Yeah, really appreciate the conversation. Thank you for involving me, and thank you for your prayers. I'm looking forward to feeling them, literally.
Absolutely.
And, hope to make all of you proud, and thank you for the work that you're doing in our community.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Mr. Redford. Oh my God, that was an amazing interview. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Alrighty, so everyone, this is actually the end of our segment and our episode tonight. We want to thank everyone for tuning in for our first episode, and we just want you guys to make sure that you tune in next week when we discuss our top five movies, our top 5 TV shows, our Black TV shows, our Black movies. So make sure you guys tune in. If you agree with the points that were made tonight, go ahead and drop a comment below. If you have your own list, share it with us, and we'll see you next week.
Go get the bag. You chasing all of these. I want a bag.